Hello, my name is Jared Altic, and I'm a chaplain with the police department. And you're listening to Hey Chaplain. One of my favorite personalities of anyone I know is my mother, Anita Altic. And I've known since I first started podcasting that she would be a pleasure to listen to. She's funny and a good storyteller. She's intelligent. She has a great voice. All that was missing was a good interaction with law enforcement, which she almost never has. So over the last 3 years, I've periodically asked her, Mom, have you had a speeding ticket yet? And she'd always say, no. And I'd respond, don't you even want to help me with my podcast? How about getting caught shoplifting or maybe trespassing with some criminal damage? No, she would always reply. Well, then I came back from vacation a few weeks ago, and the first words my dad says to me is, your mother had an accident. She got a ticket. Ran some woman off the road. Well, jackpot. Now we're talking. Now Mom has to come in and record with me. So this week after church, I gave her my best puppy dog eyes and asked her to come in and tell me her story of the chaplain's mom getting a ticket in Lawrence, Kansas. Here's my mom, the usually law-abiding Anita Altic. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
So do you know why I called you in today?
I'm afraid I do. Yes, you've been trying to get me for the last few years to get a ticket or something so you could talk to me.
Oh, I'd love if you would just do me the convenience of getting a speeding ticket or something.
I preferred not to and have been real fortunate until recently. But I didn't get a speeding ticket.
No, you didn't. You had a different moving violation, I believe. Ran some poor lady off the road or something, right?
It was, you need to know the lead up to it because this is, we used to live near Lawrence, went to Lawrence all the time. I was very familiar with the streets and the bridges and everything, but I haven't been there for about 25 years, and they were working on 6th Street doing construction. And so I was trying to be very alert in my driving because all day I had been bragging about how well I was driving because we had left home, went to Lenexa to Kennedy's volleyball tournament. Then we went on to Ottawa and visited Mom and had a busy afternoon there. And we were headed toward Tonganoxie. And so I had been driving all day thinking that would be better than letting Richard drive this time. And
did Dad agree with your assessment of your driving? Does he think you're a good driver?
No, but I don't know why, because I think I do really well.
Yes.
But that was the problem. I thought I was really doing a good job of driving and felt real proud of myself and even commented 2 or 3 times that I'm so, things are just going great. I feel good driving. And this, I needed to drive some more. And he said about that time, I don't think I'd cut through Lawrence if I were driving. And I said, I'm perfectly comfortable with driving right on through Lawrence and up to 6th Street and across River Bridge. Familiar with it. Well, 25 years ago I was.
Yeah, we took that route all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was a better route. And so since I was driving, he didn't say anything. And I went on up as planned, across 6th Street. They were doing a lot of construction, and so I was trying to watch everything, and I admit that my eyes did leave the road a little bit, a time or two, to look at what was different along the streets, from where it was, 50 years ago.
But you weren't on your phone or anything.
No, I was not, and I knew the directions, so I wasn't even checking that, and so I went to turn left onto the river bridge there, coming from the west on 6th Street. And because they had narrowed the highway, I thought I was still in a single lane.
Wait, you didn't run someone off into the river, did you?
No.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure. I didn't know how catastrophic this became.
No, it wasn't nearly as bad as everybody's making it sound. But I
haven't read the police report, so I don't know. Yeah.
It is available, by the way. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But anyway, I was turning. There was nobody around. And all of a sudden, this little Toyota Corolla came right up alongside me on the actual turn onto the bridge, which I thought was just one lane from my direction. And there was one lane coming from the other direction to both go north across the bridge. But anyway, she came flying around. I'm sure she was speeding.
Yes, I'm sure.
Anyway, she came flying by me, and my bumper, front end of my car, apparently had...
Sorry about that. I have to have my phone on just because I'm on call.
Oh, yeah.
But that's
Do you
a
need to
call
go?
I can return. No, it's a call. Yeah, you wish. Yeah, you would love for that phone call to have been an end to your misery here. Yes. A death would get me called away, but yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, I think she was speeding, and she told me later that she was just on her way to work and all that. But anyway, my front end, apparently, according to my version too, was that I probably took the corner a little bit wider because I did not realize there was another lane of traffic turning with me, and she came out of nowhere and was shooting by me. And so my right front fender caught the back quarter of her car, and I heard this scrape, boom, like that. And I was, oh no. And anyway, we both stopped temporarily. Then we both saw we could still drive, and we drove on across the bridge and
nobody went into the water.
No.
Okay.
It was
all right.
long way from the water, up and across. But anyway, it was minor, really, I thought. And but we both pulled over, did the responsible thing, got out of the other traffic, pulled over into a little park there.
The driver, a young person, old person?
Oh, she was probably 30-ish, so pretty young. And I was very nice about it. And then she couldn't find her insurance, couldn't find this, that. Anyway, we looked at each other's vehicles, and like I said, it seemed pretty minor. It just our front right fender, which it turns out was $1,800.
Oh, no.
Damage.
Oh, no.
No, I think it was even more than that now that I think about it. But anyway, it was going to be quite a little bit.
But your car was drivable?
Yes, both of them were perfectly drivable. But I said, I don't even know, in a small fender bender like this, are we supposed to call the police or what? I don't know. And I said, well, I just will. And so I called 911, and the officer came just right away. And, of course, I feel very warmly toward officers because...
Sure you do.
No, I do. I'm on a perfectly good relationship with them. But he was so nice. It was Officer Smizer. And
how long did it take him to get there?
Oh, it wasn't 5 minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, very fast. And but anyway, he asked me what happened, and I described it, and then he went and talked to her, and
they put you in cuffs?
No. Oh, I'd have died. Oh, my word.
I appreciate what a good sport you're being just about telling me the story, because I know you didn't want to. I've been hounding you for 2 years. Please get a ticket so I'd love to hear you tell a story of getting a ticket. I'm glad you're able to tell it, but he comes along and
I didn't even cry. I was very calm. I thought I was doing great, just like I thought I'd been driving great all day. I was so humbled by the whole experience. Of course, Dad just, not saying much, and I know what he's thinking. And anyway,
so the officer talks to you. He talks to the other driver, and
then he went back to his car, told us we could get inside because it was cold, and he said, "You can wait for me, and I'll be back up and talk to you." And he sat in his car for quite a long time. And, of course, I was able to provide. I had everything right there all ready to go, the insurance card, the registration, everything. And I was very nice to him. And I threw in the fact that my granddaughter's husband is a policeman and an officer in Kansas City, Missouri. And I asked him if he got to work the Chiefs parade and just chit-chat,
Try to win them over, right?
He said, no, they didn't even call us. I guess we're far enough out of the area. But anyway, he could not have been nicer as he handed me a ticket.
Uh-huh.
And I was kind of hoping that it would just be kind of a no-fault type thing, kind of a warning maybe. But he said, Kansas is a no-fault state, so we're not assigning blame, but technically if there's any traffic citation at all that we can make, we need to do that. And so he said, I'm giving this to you for improper lane change. And I said, I wasn't changing lanes? And he said, yes, I understand. But he said, I'll look at the video again look at the video when I get back to the station, maybe later tonight or tomorrow. And if I see something different than what I'm perceiving here from your stories and from the looks of the damage, I'll call you and tell you to tear it up. And so I was very hopeful that that's what would happen.
No call from the officer.
No call. Went by a couple days, and so I called the Lawrence. He had given me his card. And I called the Lawrence Police Department and asked for him, and they said, we'll get him a message. Let me have your phone number. And sure enough, he did call me back. And I said, I'm not trying to argue with anything about that. And I said, I just want to know what you saw when you looked at the video.
Because it's right by City Hall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah, right there.
Right on the front step of City Hall. He ran a lady off the road. And the video showed?
He said, it basically did show that your front end kind of got over sort of into her lane. And I said, did my front wheel cross the line? He said, I don't know why I asked that, but he said, it might have a little bit. He said, basically what you did was what we call a pit maneuver.
Oh,
and
great.
I said,
you know how much money they spend teaching officers how to do a pit maneuver?
I said, I'm so happy to know that I now know how to do a pit maneuver. Anyway, I told him I wasn't going to contest it or anything, but my insurance had already told me that she told a different story than I did.
Oh.
So I wanted to be sure.
You can't trust those people from Lawrence. Yeah.
I think the problem was when I was talking to my insurance company, I actually mentioned I think she was speeding by me because she just came up real fast. And I think they considered that I was trying to, contest the fault or something. But Kansas apparently does not assign fault.
Okay.
But in my mind, I knew it was mine. And so I was so beaten down. We were talking about going to Colorado in a couple of weeks, and I don't even deserve to go to Colorado. I was so upset with myself because
but accidents happen.
Yes, but it messed up our plans for the evening. Of course, we were going to go and celebrate Joy's birthday, surprise birthday party. But I said, I think I need to just go home because the longer time went by, the more.
Well, I love you.
I got.
And,
I love you
and
too.
I know that you do a good job, but accidents happen.
One
and
thing,
it sounds like the cops weren't too upset with you.
No, in fact, he was comforting me. He was saying when I said, "How much is that ticket?" and he said, $143, and I said, "Oh," and he said, "Oh, ma'am, this
a small ticket.
This is a small ticket compared to most of them we write." And I said, "You're trying to make me feel better."
Yes.
And he said, "Yes." And I said, "But I'd been driving so good all day. I was so proud of my driving." And then I said, I believe there's a scripture that says, "Pride cometh before a fall."
Yeah.
And he just grinned.
And at no point you didn't play I am the chaplain's mom. No. You didn't try that?
I don't know why that didn't cross my mind.
I've got
thinking
lots of people in Lawrence that listen to my show.
If I'd only known. I didn't. And when I actually thought, what was I thinking? I could have given him one of these.
Yeah, I could have got him to listen to the show. Yeah.
Anyway, it was
I'll
a
give you a
humbling
sticker.
experience.
I'll give you a sticker to put on your van. So the next time you run someone off the road, maybe you won't get a ticket.
And I don't think that's going to work. I was as nice as I could be. It wasn't. I knew better than to. Well, I don't do that anyway. I wouldn't have fought against them or argued with them. I may have argued a little bit because that's kind of my nature. But just kind of
You're just trying
clarifying.
to explain how right you are.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Well, Mom, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in and telling us.
You're welcome, Jared.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
The purpose of the Hey Chaplain podcast is to encourage police officers. And if you'd like to help me do that, I'd like you to go to buymeacoffee.com/HeyChaplain. There you can read what I put in my blog, you can see pictures that I post, and you can contribute a $5 virtual coffee to help me pay the bills and keep this show going. I might also want to add a legal defense fund for my mom, now that I think about it. But for those of you who've been supporting the show, thank you so much. Your participation means everything to me.